As the producer of Pure Heart, Clear Mind, a program that promotes Falun Dafa as a form of high-level cultivation, I have only talked about my cultivation experience once to a small audience. This video is a rewrite of that presentation. Please note that it does not teach Falun Dafa, since that is the sole domain of Mr. Li Hongzhi, the founder and master of the practice. Okay, where to begin? I could talk about my lifelong search for answers to the deeper questions in life that we all have. What am I doing here? What should I be doing here? Is there a heaven? Will I go there someday? And so forth. Or I could tell you about the various stages of awakening in my life as I tried to find a spiritual path that would work for me. Then again, maybe I could explain why I decided over 20 years ago that Falun Dafa was my true path. But instead of all that, I would like to get right down to the nitty-gritty of what Falun Dafa self-cultivation really means to me. So let's take a cue from the hard-working farmer in this slide and plow into the subject of spiritual gardening, if you will, which is all about weeding out attachments. Now, in your spiritual garden, by that I mean your inner being or soul, the weeds are called attachments. So what's an attachment? Well, any number of thoughts, attitudes, or feelings that we fix or fasten to ourselves can be called attachments. We actually want to hang on to those thoughts, attitudes, or feelings instead of letting them go. Greed, anger, jealousy, and lust are examples of attachments that are hard to ignore because they generate a lot of negative energy. But there are loads of minor attachments that often go unnoticed. For example, maybe you like to have the last word in a conversation, which is an example of competitiveness. Or perhaps you feel the need to show off to impress people. We all have attachments, right? I know I certainly do. The challenge, though, is to start weeding out our attachments, if for no other reason than they don't belong in our spiritual garden. Let's watch a short video that illustrates how this is done.
So before I practiced Falun Gong, when I got scolded by my boss or supervisor, I was very annoyed, and immediately I would complain about others, or felt it wasn't fair. But after I started practicing, the biggest lesson I learned was looking inside and always find something to improve within myself.
If I didn't like something that another person did, I would think about, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that that person does that. And I realized that it was having a direct effect on my health by having that bad thought about that person. And as soon as I realized that, I changed my thinking so that I wouldn't think about what things I didn't like or liked about other people, and more just how I should be responsible to being a good person and controlling my thinking and quieting my thinking.
Both women in this video started weeding out their particular attachment by looking within themselves first and then letting the attachment go. This is a straightforward process that has to come from the heart and not just the mind. In other words, don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Jump in and do it. Just be aware that many attachments aren't completely eliminated in just one pass, especially if they are deeply rooted. But with diligence and persistence, any attachment can be wiped out of our lives. When I was trying to find my true cultivation path, I noticed that some of the great spiritual teachers in history talked about desires and attachments being the cause of all psychological suffering. They taught that humans are not placed on this earth to bask in sentimentality and comfort. Rather, we are here to relinquish all human attachments, pay for our transgressions in this and previous lives, also called karmic retribution, and return to our true nature and our true home or paradise. This always spoke quite strongly to me. Seen in this light, I feel that our time here on earth is very precious. In this video, I've only focused on one key element of Falun Dafa cultivation, but getting rid of attachments is done as part of a complete system of cultivation practice. The cultivation component refers to improving one's heart and mind nature, or xingxing as it is called in Chinese. This involves consciously and continuously letting go of one's attachments, as we have seen. But there is more to it, as the entire Dafa cultivation process is guided by the cosmic principle of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. And the practice component refers to doing the 5 gentle but powerful Dafa exercises that include a standing and a sitting meditation. Not everyone will become full-fledged Falun Dafa practitioners, of course, but many people have benefited from doing these exercises. And some of these people have also taken to heart the principle of truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. If they were to then start weeding out their attachments, that would be awesome, because they would be on the way to becoming a better person. I hope that this brief presentation will inspire you to cultivate good things in your spiritual garden. May you live long and cultivate well.